Hey everybody, so we're back today, just doing an announcement on some new series. Talk a little bit about the channel. This is going to be a relatively short video, but two new ideas that I had. I might have possibly mentioned them in the Country Roads Take Me Home because last Thursday I actually was able to make three of them because I just sort of went around like a big circle and hit three of the routes that we had hit before, but I hit them at peak color change for fall, which is the first time because the other times I sort of missed just off by a little bit or quite a bit in certain cases. But anyways, there's a certain I finally feel like I'm getting back on my feet a little bit as a filmmaker. You get a little burnout sometimes when you do this stuff, and it was not quite 2.5 years, but you get to the stage where you're sort of, and just with the health concerns, being so beat down, and just trying to sort of survive through, you just don't have the energy to get a lot of things that you normally would find simple, aren't finding simple. And needless to say, I feel like I'm finally sort of getting my next wind again and feeling pretty good again as a filmmaker. And so we're on to the next round, I guess you can say. Obviously, I want to get going. I had a couple series that I've talked about for a little while. The one on destitution in America, and destitution in general, like how it's viewed, the poorhouse, those types of things. I think that's going to be a sad series, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool series because we get to learn a lot of things about how that type of stuff is handled, how negatively it's been handled, and how people that suffer through that. And I have a connection with that because of everything I went through. I lost pretty much everything because of all the health things. So, still working my way back to get back on my feet, have my own place, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a journey. And you're still met with quite a bit of degradation, if you will. People automatically assume, well, you're lazy or, this, that, or other thing. Sometimes life just sucker punches you. And over and over again. And you have a string of really bad luck and bad events that happen. And it's what it is. And, thankfully in my case, I've had a couple people that have really been very generous and very kind to me, including you guys who have been extraordinarily generous to help me get through, especially the roughest times. Uh, I wouldn't have gone through without you guys. But that's a series that means a lot to me. I want to get that going here, hopefully in the next month or so. I'm going to be realistic and say the next month. I would like to get that understanding the French and Indian War. Now that I'm starting to get out and do some live filming again, I want to do that first one where it was a massacre in Swatara Gap. Talk about that. And then now that I'm going to be starting to travel a little bit further too, I want to go down and do the one on the Conestoga Native Americans who were massacred by the Paxton Boys. Go a little bit more into that history and just going through that war from beginning to end and understanding the course of that war, the causes, the manipulations, who got manipulated, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's important. It's a important thing to understand these events that really molded the future in a lot of ways and changed the course of history. Certainly for the people that lost their lives ended at that stage. What did their families go through? That type of stuff. And I think that's a very important part of history. And I think understanding French and Indian War is that was sort of the first great war that happened on this soil after the settlers came here. So that series I want to truly get going. I want to get Heroines of Hometown History going again. I want to get Tales of Hometown History, Hometown History's Greatest Inventions. All those series that we had earlier, I want to get going. The Hometown Historic Churches, I want to start getting that going again. Those things, a lot of them were sort of contingent upon, like Hometown Historic Churches and some of these other ones are contingent upon me being able to live film. Whereas the other ones, not so much. but it's still, there's certain aspects that I'd like to do. And now that I'm getting back into the role of things, I want to do that. So I also would like to get Life of a Writer going again, my series where I talk about other channels, YouTube channels, about different tools on the internet, those types of things. I just did a interview at the country fair in Myerstown at the Isaac Meyer Homestead with Visit Lebanon Valley. I would like to do some of those going forward with different organizations, historic societies, those types of people, just to make folks aware of what they do, how they operate, what they all have available to the general public. So those are definitely things we've already been doing that we're going to be doing more of. Now, on to the new series. So this is something I've been thinking about for quite a while. I did my first video the other day. I'm going to do shorts with a lot of these new series. I want to make them so they're available to do a shorts version and a long form version. The shorts basically generate traffic to the YouTube channel itself. And it gives you a short snippet, a sort of overview of the generalized subject matter. Whereas the long form is going to go into the details, it's going to be between the lines, really sort of filling that out. Other than it just being longer, it offers a lot more material. Some people, their jam is the shorts. It's just boom, boom, it's over with, done. You get your information, you enjoy it, boom. And I'm getting better and better at it because I really find like I want to be more scripted overall, but certainly the shorts to be good, informative and good, where they're enjoyable, you have to really script them and stick to that script because you have that minute amount of time, and I'm a rambler, so that's why I enjoy the country drives or country roads take me home is sort of ramble as well as my driving rambling, so they sort of fit together. But those shorts you have to be on par. So the first series is going to be called The Founders. Now the Founders is going to dwell on several different groups of people. You're going to have the town founders. You're going to have the church denomination founders. So like town founders would be like Isaac Meyer. I just did Alexander Schaefer of Schaeferstown yesterday. And the short on that is literally going to just be at his tombstone. They actually have a marker on the back side that goes into talking about him and his wife and him founding the town. Schaeferstown Water Company was something that he was very famous for, being one of the first public waterworks and ultimately the first chartered waterworks in the United States. So that was very cool doing that because I've been thinking about that. And there's people like Johann Palm of Palmyra, those types of individuals. We're going to be doing them. Some of them we're going to be able to visit their graves. Some of them, like Baron von Stiegel, they really don't know where him or George Stites, for instance, the founder of Lebanon. They don't know whether they have ideas of where they might be buried, but not entirely certain. Just records were lost, burnt, or whatever happened. The second group of founders are going to be the church founding fathers here in America, like John Casper Stover. We talked about him a number of times. I know exactly where he's buried. We visited there several times at Hill Lutheran Church in Cleona. So he's somebody that we'll wind up talking about. Well, John Philip Baum of the Reformed Church, the Muhlenbergs with the Lutheran Church. You obviously have the leaders of the Presbyterian and Episcopalian churches and the Methodists, all those different individuals. We'll talk about Jacob Albright and John Walter. We've been visited both of their grave sites as well and do a series on them talking about them founding evangelical associations. So that'll be one. We'll even do people that were founders of organizations, businesses, all kinds of intriguing people. But there's going to be a short series, there's going to be a long series on those. That'll be a new series coming up. I think it's just going to be called The Founders. So I think that'll be a fun series. It'll be some really interesting information. I was just out yesterday doing a bunch of shorts in Schaeferstown and Myerstown, and then on my way back before I went to go see my mom, I stopped by St. Jacob's Kimmerling's Church. There's a big monument there, and I never knew what it was. Usually it's a war memorial or something. But here it was a memorial to Jacob Kimmerling, who the church is named after. He was born in 1704 in Switzerland, died here in 1777, came over to the New World in 1734. One of the first settlers in that area, and the church is named after him. Whether he founded it or not, I think it'd be a cool story if we could find more information out about him. We've already been doing like founding families and those types of individuals where we go around and check out these small family cemeteries and go a little more in depth about like the Light family or the France family or whoever it might be, and talk a little bit about their history and the first settlers at that time. And then, the next series, I've talked about this, and this has to do with French and Indian War. I have this book I bought from Ralph, is Eastern Woodland Indians, Lives, Legends, and Lore. So we're going to do a series on the indigenous people here in North America. And North America, South America, we're going to talk about them, the lives they led, their lore, their legends, everything about them. So that's going to be a series. I haven't come up with a name for it yet, but that's going to be a series that'll be coming up. I've been reading through this book, and it really is. It's a part of the culture here in North America that a lot of time does get forgotten. We're going to talk about their triumphs, their tragedies, all of that, their journey through time. And that'll be the other series that will be happening. So just wanted to give you an informative update there. I just started the last week or so. I'm not doing a ton of it, but like since Thursday last week, so only really less than a week, I started going out and doing some live filming again. I got some Instagram photography done yesterday for the first time. I think when I was out on a run, dropping off some tables for business, I stopped by. It was right next to the Lebanon Farmers Market in Lebanon there. And the Lebanon Farmer Market clock, town clock, is sitting right there. It was a really pretty day, and I took a picture. So that was the first one I took. Since the stuff that I was doing with Schaeferstown, when I filmed with Lewis for the World War II encampment, it really has been, like, I think I've filmed some stuff in between there, but I still got to put some of that stuff together. It's just I've had so much mobility trouble that I haven't been able to do stuff the way I would have liked. But we're finally starting to get back to that a little bit, but I really have to be cautious because I got to stay off the left foot as much as possible. So most of the stuff I'm doing is very simplistic, involves very little walking. That's why I was doing a bunch of shorts yesterday. Didn't quite get to do all of them I wanted. I'm going to start doing as well my first, where I'm going to do specifically on a certain house, the Franklin House, or tavern and restaurant in Schaeferstown. I'm doing one on them, on their history, because I learned a bunch of stuff about it, and I thought this would make a very cool video. And then we're going to probably do the Weagley Mansion. I'd done a short today on the ghost of William Weagley. And, but anyways, so that's some of the future of the channel here upcoming. We're doing well. It's still, I got to get this left foot healed, and then we start proceeding on to the right, and a small surgery that'll happen then. But this is going to take a little while for the left foot to heal, and I've got to be very careful at work right now over the next couple of weeks, what I'm doing, how much I'm on my feet, because I got to get this thing to heal, because it's been pretty aggressive with the infections. The last 2 times I've been in the hospital, which has been twice over a month, have both been because of this foot and getting infections, cellulitis. The last time was a nip it in the bud before it does become something, because the time before that, my blood was actually septic. Now, not septic as in true sepsis, but they sort of generalize that it's septic. But, when you get true sepsis, you're pretty much dead. You reached a stage is sort of gauged by how many days away are you from true sepsis and dying. Like the first time I was at Hershey Med, I was about a day away from dying. The second time I had it, probably 3 or 4 days. This last time, probably about 3 to 5 days. So I'd like to stay away from that, of course. It's just being careful with what I'm doing. But we're doing well. Channel's starting to pick up a little bit again. I'd like to at least try to have some shorts every single day, and then a video maybe every other day, every day, if I'm capable of doing it, I just don't know if that's going to be possible or if I'm going to have enough material over the time, because I'm not going to be traveling real far. There's going to probably be a lot of country roads take me home, because I got two more of them coming up. One tomorrow and then one Wednesday. Um, and then there's two more I want to do for sure in the next week. So they're probably going to be every other day. Then there's going to be a lot of haunted history stuff because I got a ton of material for that, and go from there. So, but I got a lot of material. It's just a matter of getting myself back into that mindset of filming every single day and editing and putting content out. We're over 1,500 viewers or subscribers now, which is very, very cool. It's been growing slowly. It's just sort of like with this channel, you hit a place where you're really growing and then something happens. And just hopefully we can get to the stage where we don't have that something happens and there's a pause. But as always, I want to say thank you, everybody, for sticking with the channel, for coming along. We got a bunch of really cool stuff that we're coming up. And as always, we'll see you all about town.